welcome to day 10 of the advice letters a day through May 15th. I'm calling this the daily dose of reality because these folks that are writing these letters need reality like I have never seen before in my life. Maybe not, but I don't know. But I'm just kind of stunned at some of the stuff that's coming through these days. And a lot of people have been responding to the requests, and some of these letters are from these individuals. They just letters that came in recently. I'm still going through the archives though, people that wrote like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 months ago. I'm kind of, mixing some of those in as well. But many of those I'm finding are the subject matter is rather duplicative, and so they're going to have to get their response from a question that's already been answered that's along the same lines. It's like the same issues. So let's get started. This one says, we had a meeting at work today. Oh, okay, this is not a relationship advice question. This is evidently a work-related question. Well, that's okay. I'm pretty good at those too. We had a meeting at work today, and it's not those kind of meetings but a reduction in force meeting. The operating manager didn't disclose the two individuals that would be let go, but the atmosphere at work changed. Even though there were only two people from another department, somehow every employee was worried since there may be people to be bumped off. That's true, because sometimes they start with one department and it spreads like wildfire to other departments, so I can see their concern. For those individuals who decide to voluntarily employ from our okay, he must mean separate from the company. They'll have to talk to the people tomorrow. In all the years that I've been working, I have never experienced something like this. As I left work, I was worried. I tried to pass it off, but somehow the next couple of days might be rough since they could be in the process of bumping even more people off. How should I handle this? And my thing is this. It's just a job. There's millions more just like that one. There's millions of employers, there's millions of jobs that you could get. I mean, it might not be exactly what you like. It might not pay as much, but it'll be a job. I mean, you'll be able to keep your lights on and keep your, while you look for something better. And people have really, really good job skills. They can get offers within a week or two. Temp jobs are also an option while you look at, something that you might want. But my thing is this, you should never be afraid of losing a job. I'll tell you how my daddy broke me of that. I was about 18, and I was working at this place as a receptionist, which was fine because people didn't really come. Most of the business was by telephone. So I'm sitting at this front desk and pretty empty lobby area, and I could study. They let me use the computer and stuff. I could work on my projects and stuff, look up research on the internet. I could do a lot of stuff while I sat there, quote, working. So it was ideal for me. But one day, I'm not real good with plants. I think I have one live plant in this house, and everything else is artificial. And that one that's alive is barely so, let me tell you. So this guy comes in. He had like this big old ficus tree in the lobby. This thing, I don't even know how many years old it was, but my mom had one, and it was so temperamental. I mean, it would drop leaves and turn colors and do all kind of stuff if it just didn't like the temperature that day. So I knew how temperamental things were. I was not fucking with his plant. And plus it was like huge, so I knew it was really valuable. So he comes to me and he tells me he wants me to take care of this damn plant. And I looked at that man and I said, I'm not doing that. I wasn't hired to be a gardener. Like 18-year-old sassy ass. And this white man, look, he must have turned, I don't even know what shade of red he turned, and steam was shooting out of his ears. And he's like, come into my office. So I got him over to his office. And he told me I was fired. I said, that's fine. You better give me my money and the check better not bounce. And, I was like on fire. And I'm like, I think about that now. It's like, where did all that attitude come from? I had never acted like that before in my life. I mean, I had a little temper, but never like that. And this, older white man, he was one who owned the company and stuff. He was a tyrant too, I heard later. So the office manager, has become in her office while she writes out, calculates everything, writes in my check. And and her hands were shaking. She's like, no one's ever talked to him like that. No, everyone here is scared of him. They never, no one's ever stood up to him like that before. I said, yeah, you could tell, how angry he got, and like my audacity. And so, I left and everything, and I went downstairs, and they still had pay phones in those days. And I went to the corner, and I called my daddy, and I told him what happened. This man said, oh, so I'm like, by then I'm starting to break, right? I'm starting to sniffle and, feel sorry for myself because I'm unemployed and all this kind of stuff. And my father says to me, well, did he touch you? I said, no. He said, okay, he didn't touch you. Well, are you hurting anywhere? I mean, did somebody else touch you? I mean, what happened? So I said, no, nobody touched me. Nothing happened. Nobody physically blocked me, assaulted, nothing. And he said, okay, well, you'll be all right. You got a valuable lesson. See, some of my tears like dried up right now because I'm like, what? He was just like, whatever kind of attitude. I'm expecting all this sympathy and, oh, my poor baby, my little pumpkin. But he was like, yeah, what the fuck ever. And I was like, how could, I was scratching my. So then he tells me, well, this is a good lesson for you to learn because, you're just getting started. And the stuff you want to do is going to put you in corporate America. And the best thing that you can have is to not be afraid of being fired, because that's what they hold over everybody. That's what makes people toe the line and do what they want them to do, is that fear of being fired. Now that you know how it feels, you'll never be afraid again. And you can get another job. You'll have another job next week. And this was, back in the day. And sure enough, that happened on like a Wednesday or Thursday. And by Tuesday, I had another job. And it actually paid more money. So, that taught me a valuable lesson. And so I like my jobs when I have them. It's cool and everything, but I never get that attached to a job. I never get that attached to a company. I never get that attached to the people at the company, because everything about that is temporary. And I look at all of those things that happen in my life, all the people that pass through, as temporary situations. The only thing that's permanent in my life is me. Everybody else is, temporary. So, in other words, I'm telling this long story because, you got to look at how companies are loyal to their employees. I'm so nosy. And they're not. You do something they don't like, or they have somebody else that they want to have your job, you'll be up and out of there. And there'll be a new body sitting in your seat before the seat even cools off from your ass having left it. You see what I'm saying? You don't need to worry about that. Now, this is a tactic that I have every time I used to get a new job. Once I figured out what I was doing and what my responsibilities were and how it fit in with everything, I would update my resume immediately, because you just never know. And I would email it to myself, and there it would sit, and it would just wait in case I needed it. And it would give names of references and stuff. You get people, you keep a list of people's phone numbers, emails, their cell phones, home phones, whatever you want. You keep all that stuff ready at the go, because you just never know. You know what I mean? It's just the kind of thing. I got up on one job and walked out because this man told me that I couldn't go to the bathroom when I needed to go. I'm like, wait a minute. You trying to tell me that you're going to try to regulate my bladder now? And he says, well, you need to go to the bathroom at break time. I said, well, my body is not aware of when your break is. I said, so I got up. I said, nah, I don't need to be here. And I got up, put my stuff in my purse. And he's like, where are you going? I said, I'm leaving. Because you're not going to talk to me like that, and you're not going to tell me that I can't go to the bathroom when I need to go. And this is an unacceptable place for me to work. So I'm out. Deuces. Bye, Felicia. And I left. And that was that. So see, Deb has, very strict boundaries. I keep telling you guys, you guys got to get some boundaries. And as we go through these letters today, because this time I did kind of read them. At least I have a general idea what they're about. Except for this one, I didn't read this. You'll see that boundaries are a problem here. So this person, what I just said about the resume, that's really important, because what you want to be able to do is, if they act stupid, you want to be to jump up, roll out, popping that resume out like you a Vegas card dealer, honey. Just get that going, and then you're going to land on your feet and jump up. You know how G's jump up, like they fall, and then they act like it was no big deal. And you're going to roll, do your little whirl pimp walk right on down to the next job. That's what you're going to do. You're not going to worry about this at all. Letter number 2. I met a guy a few days ago, and he tells me he's already fallen in love with me. He has met my family and wants to spend as much time as possible with me and has all the means to really take care of me, and I do like him. But as badly as I want to get married, I also want to make sure that it is right. How can I make him understand taking it slow without making him feel like I'm rejecting him? Who gives a fuck if he feels like you're rejecting him? You know what? I'm going to tell you something. See, these young girls, they don't know the game. When a man puts a bum rush on you, like that, he's trying to hide something, even if he feels it. Because I know a lot of men, like I said, my own dad and some of my uncles and stuff, my cousins, they all said as soon as they met, the woman that they ultimately married, as soon as they met her, they knew that she was going to be their wife. My own father told me that. So I'm not discounting the feelings, because I don't know the man. He might be true. But most often, this is not true. It's a game. Because the guys who really feel it are just as much in shock as the woman. You know what I mean? And they're like, what in the world just happened to me? How do I feel like this? I just met this woman. I don't even know her middle name yet. And they're kind of like confused and thrown off and not, they need time to regroup. It's not like they're trying to let you go nowhere though, but they're still, trying to figure it all out and what it means. So they're not going to be in a few days professing like this. You see what I mean? When the dude is serious and he's really trying to figure out what's going on, he's not going to act like that. Even if he does feel like it, he's going to tell other people. He might tell his parents, his best friend, his sister, something, but he's never going to tell you, okay? Because he don't want to scare you off. So, what he's trying to do, I think, this is, my interpretation, he's trying to get you all caught in the whirlwind. See, because usually for women, that's the fastest route to the panties. Because you're thinking, oh my God, you start writing this whole script in your head, this romance novel, where we meet in this lightning and bolts and thunder and butterflies, and then you kick that back leg up, and then you be like, oh, it's happily ever after. This is my man I've been waiting for. So you feel you do all the work for him. He says a few choice words, and you fill in all the blanks yourself. So, but usually this is just a seduction tactic. It's nothing more. He's just trying to get some booty. Sometimes they're trying to get some booty and move in with you because they don't, they're about to get kicked out from the woman where they are now, or they about to get evicted, or there's about some drama that's going to be happening. So, don't get your head too wrapped up in this. Don't get into that happily ever after mindset where you start, thinking that this guy is the one and all that stuff, and that he's like the fulfiller of your life dreams and all that old nonsense. I want you to keep your mind clear and keep your drawers on. Okay, that's the main thing. You don't know who this man is yet. You haven't had enough time. And it's nice that you met your family, but I wonder why he brought him around your family already. You don't know this clown. He might be casing their house and go get his boys to break in or something. Don't be dumb. Stop doing stuff like that. You guys just don't be thinking at all. And, you could be polite because, if you do like him, you not want to like shut that door completely. But what you want to do is tell him, I appreciate your sentiments. I think you're a great guy, and I'd like to take more time to explore your personality and how we work together, how well we communicate, how well we mesh, and what we have in common, what our life plans are, and where they match up. And that means that we need to take it slow and go at a speed that's comfortable for me, that makes me feel like I'm really getting to know you, the man that you are. Are you all right with that? And then you pass him the microphone. So then he's going to talk his shit and say, well, either he's going to be in agreement with you, or he's going to say, well, why are you so hesitant? He's going to start trying to pressure you into it. And that's when you say, see, boundary, you say, well, this is the way that I want things to go. If that isn't comfortable for you, like it is for me, then it's best that you know now so that you can go on. It's been nice knowing you. And that's what you do. You don't let some man bum rush you into a relationship that you don't really know who you have in a relationship with. That makes no sense. All right, letter number 3. This dude, he was a trip. We're at a party, and someone told my wife that she was looking good, which was true. This guy, however, is a serial skirt chaser, and I did not like it, not one bit. I didn't say anything at the time because I didn't want to embarrass my wife. Those were her colleagues. But what would be the best thing to do in such situations? Okay, my thing is this. Um, she's a grown woman. She's getting a compliment. You admit that she looks good. The guy's merely acknowledging the effort that she put into looking good. I mean, did he try to touch her? Did he, try to touch her booty or something? Did he ask for her number? Did he try to get at her like, yo, ma, so, I mean, whatever. What did he do? Any of that thing? Did he do anything that disrespected her? I talk about her body parts and stuff. If he didn't do any of those things, he didn't disrespect her, your relationship, nothing, then why are you tripping? I mean, you got a beautiful woman because you knew she was beautiful. That's what you wanted. So you gonna act like now that nobody else notices? What's wrong with you? You need to do something about yourself. Not only that, if you trust your wife, then you don't have anything to worry about because especially you right there. You think she gonna clown you? You're the man that she loves. So if anything, she might say, depending upon how assertive she is, and these are colleagues, so most likely she would have taken a more low-key approach. And if he tried like to up his ante, like say, oh, it would be nice for us to get together or something like that, she would say, I'm not sure my husband would appreciate that. So she's gonna shut him down, but in a professional way where there's a barrier right there. I'm married, get out of my face with that. But she's not gonna say it in those words, but that's essentially what it means, okay? So it's not like, just because a man compliments your wife that it means she's about to rip off her clothes and get busy with dude. Stop being so insecure. I'm glad you didn't say anything though and embarrass her and possibly cause her problems at her job because you was tripping. So that was a nice move there, okay? Letter number 4. I met this guy online, and what I noticed is that he likes it when women offer to split the check. Oh yeah, this letter was long as hell. I don't know why she had to tell me so many details. She said she started noticing that he started calling her pet names. It was very touchy-feely, and she told him that it made her feel uncomfortable. Okay, there's her barrier. That's good. Afterwards, I kept my distance for a few weeks, and he reached out to me. I decided to give him another chance. We realized there was miscommunication, and then we reconnected. He got me some very nice gifts for Christmas, took me to jazz and to church on Christmas Eve service. My grandmother died that same day, and he seemed very genuine and caring. He checked up on me every day. It was really nice. We were off to a good start, having fun. I invited him over a week later, and we became intimate. But before we did, I disclosed my STI status and asked about his. He said he didn't have to disclose anything and that he's clean and just got tested the same week before Christmas. And he will share his results, so we use protection. Fast forward a few weeks and dates, and I spent the night at his place, and then he took me to brunch. See, I didn't need to know that you went to brunch. I just need to know that you, some weeks. So this letter I should have edited this. Anyway, what ultimately happened, she asked him if he was sleeping with anybody else. And he showed her the test results on his phone and said he's not sleeping with anyone else, but he did hook up with his friend with benefits since he's known her. And she asked him when, and he said the week that they had reconnected. And that the next day he texted her and told her the relationship was over because he sensed that she wanted more. Okay, so see, dude is, he's letting her know what's going on. He's being very honest. I was in total shock, she says. I told him I wanted to take my time and get to know him and build a friendship. Okay, if you wanted to do all that, then why did you fuck him? See, I'm like, this girl is all over the place. So the next day I went further and told him that I was disappointed. He should have told me the truth from the beginning and that my health is important to me, since even using a condom you can still get an STI. And he said he understands, and he brought me flowers and he seemed remorseful. And then he showed her something on his phone with some heart messages or something and some online dating messages, and she believes that he did that on purpose for her to see. And then they were briefly intimate, and then he said, remember that you sign on the dotted line, we're just trying out, we are free agents. You can do whatever you want until we sign on the dotted line. So then she concludes, I'm skipping some, she felt like she was vulnerable because her grandmother had just passed. So she stopped seeing him, and now she's strategizing on how to get back at him. I started going on dates with other men. I cut off all intimacy from him. I want to make him spend more money on me. Fuck him, then leave him in an orderly and nice fashion. I want him to see that I run my own life and not him. He would not see it coming because the arrogance I see in him now. What are your thoughts? By the way, she's in the 24 to 35 age group. Young lady, you looking at this all kinds of fucked up. I can't get with this program that you're trying to run because, and I don't understand why you so mad at him. You know, you're being really silly right now. I see me, I don't hold men to a standard that not willing to meet myself. And Deb is very much a free agent. I do what the fuck I want to do. I say what the fuck I want to do. And for me to get, with you and stop doing all that other stuff, you got to have your shit so tight. It's just unbelievable. It's like waterproof. Okay. And I haven't met a man like that yet. So I don't have any reason to be trying to hold somebody to some kind of standard of being like, this husband material or boyfriend or something. I mean, we kick it and then you go your way and I'm going mine. So, you have to understand that just because you go out with a dude, just because he spends money on you, just because he's supportive and caring and all of that stuff, does not mean he's your man. He's not your boyfriend. Y'all didn't sit down and have the talk, okay? You have to have the talk. You talked about, some diseases and stuff, but you never talked about your heart. What kind of future you want, what kind of situation you want to put yourself in. I don't see any reference that you've told me detail after detail, some unnecessary shit nobody cared about, but you did not mention that at all, and that's what makes me know that you didn't tie that conversation. You assumed that you guys were at that stage, but you never talked about it with him. You never clarified that. Very poor communication. And you had like a secret agenda, some kind of, expectations that you never communicated to do. So you had him like, trying to hop around and figure out what you want without you opening your mouth and telling him. That's not fair. See, so, I don't know. When a situation like what you described, you just met the dude. I know most people have somebody else in their life, if not more than one person, that they're dealing with. You're the new one on the scene. Why would you expect him to come in and being all, committed to you when you just met him and you haven't had, like I said, you didn't have the conversation. You have all kind of unspoken expectations that he had no idea that you had, but you want to punish him for not meeting him, even though he had no clue what you're talking about or what you're thinking about. You mad at him because he wasn't like some crystal ball seer person and he should have known. Is that what you're trying to say here? I'm like, oh my God. Okay. You just really have no right to be angry. You have no right to seek revenge on him. You wasn't engaged. You married to him, and you wasn't even officially his girlfriend. Okay, you have no right to be mad at all, none, ever, about this situation that you're in. So I'm not really getting your reaction here. It's like a kind of psycho, and just be sitting around plotting about all. Yeah, you gonna get him back? Get him back for what? He didn't do shit to you. You did that to yourself by not clearly stating what your objectives were and how you wanted to run things. You talked about, a disease, and he showed you his. He responded to what you asked him. You should have asked him about a relationship. That's what you should have asked him, and you didn't do all that. So, I don't know. And all this should have taken place too before you ever dropped them draws. Okay, you don't sleep with a man and then circle back around mad because he don't understand magically that because you fucked that now you in a committed relationship. You don't get down just, you lay down with nothing and then you get up with a relationship. That's not how it works. So, I don't know where you are in that spectrum of that age group range, but you need to do better. You need to handle your business in a more mature fashion and communicate with men and stop with this jumping to conclusions and trying to, be getting all angry and punishing people for something that they had no idea that you wanted, for not giving you something that they had no idea that you wanted. Letter number 5. About 2 months ago, this guy met up with me and we went out on a date. It went really well. We've even had a couple of more dates since. He lives an hour away from me and drives down to see me 1 to 2 days a week on his days off. Oh, okay. That's pretty serious if he comes down every week. We really like each other. I spent last weekend with him, and on our way back to my house, we started talking about a relationship. And he's scared for 3 reasons. Number 1, girls that have been interested in him before all of a sudden just stopped liking him. Number 2, he has no idea how to be a father. He thinks he'll be right away have to be one to my daughter. And number three, he still likes this girl that he's friends with, but he doesn't have any chance with her, and he says that I'm more attractive than her and I treat him a lot better. It's very confusing. I really like him and he really likes me, so I don't understand the problem. There's anything I can do, is there? And he keeps seeing me twice a week, calling me every day, and talking to me for 4 hours plus. Won't we both get very attached? And when that happens, he's more likely to want a relationship with me, isn't he? Okay, another put the cart before the horse thing. Okay, because you get into these situations where you sleeping with these men and they're all fucked up in the head. Now he gonna tell you he likes some other woman, and what else did he say? What was number one? Oh, girls who were interested all of a sudden just drop off, and this. Okay, and he's afraid that he's gonna have to be a father to your daughter. I mean, on one hand, this is good because he's talking about his fears, his concerns. On the other hand, who gives a shit? If men had any goddamn sense, they would keep their mouth shut. Don't nobody want to hear about some other bitch. What the fuck? And it's like they always want to tell you about, we had this drama, this girl I used to like, and she did this and that, or women broke my heart. I know. Keep your mouth shut, dudes. Stop talking to the new woman about some other bitch. That is the biggest fucking turnoff in the world. Because see, like I always say, if he's talking about another bitch, that means he's thinking about another bitch. And you sitting there with him and stuff, talking about you like him and he calls you and all this stuff. I mean, all of that's irrelevant if he's still tripping on the fact that he has these feelings for some other woman. I wouldn't be wasting all my time with dude. It's be like, I'm really concerned about your expressing that you like this other woman, but you don't have a chance with her, and is that the only reason that you're not with her? It's kind of like, what he's basically making it sound like is you're like a default, well, I guess she'll do because I can't have what I really want. See, that's what he's communicating to me. That's what it sounds like. And I don't know. This kind of situation makes me uncomfortable. I mean, like I said, I think it's good that he's open and honest enough to talk about it. But part of this could also be kind of a setup because, see, you're already looking all hopeful and wanting more, and he's put up a barrier. The barrier is another woman. The barrier are all these fears that he has. Now, if it were me, I would express to him, I heard what you said, and thank you for sharing. My concern is the more time I spend with you and around you and interacting with you, the more attached I am going to become. I do not want to get emotionally attached to a man who's still thinking and longing for another woman. That makes no sense to me. I also don't want to invest too much emotionally in a man who's afraid of giving his all because of some other women that were in his past. So all your fears and all your concerns have nothing to do with me. It's all with women in the past, and I don't feel like that's fair to me. It's going to be wasting my time. So what I want you to do is go over there somewhere at your house, and I want you to think about this and how far along you are on being healed, because I'm not going to invest any more time in you. I'm not. I hear what you say, and it's been great so far, but these are some very real concerns that I have, and I want to think about them, and I want you to do the same. And then, if he calls you and shit, I mean, if he calls like after a week or something, then maybe pick up the phone. But you put his ass on a timeout. He need to be getting his act together. And whining to some woman about some other bitches, and bitches in your past, and who you don't like. I mean, who liked somebody else other than you, and all this sort of stuff. See, you talking too much, dude. And when dudes have minds are that confused and they don't have any boundaries about what they tell you, to me, it's like a setup. So I wouldn't be investing in this at all. You do that, but be friendly, but you need to slow things down. So you talk to him every couple of days or something, and just keep it easy breezy because he's tripping. Okay. And then this is the last one. Oh, I did 6 again today. Dear Deb, I desperately need your advice. I'm married to a grown-up male who I want to run away from. One part of me wants to stay to get some tangibles out of this crappy marriage as compensation for the years I've lost and the resources I've lost and the mental anguish. But one side of me can't take it anymore. She put that in all caps with a bunch of exclamation marks. I met my husband on POF. Oh my God, plenty of fish. Why does that keep popping up? 6 years ago. He was that Christ-hearted male the church suggests for single women. Girl, once you heard that, you should have run the other direction like your name was Flojo. Well, I got into a relationship with him only to find out after we were married that he has baby mama's drama. Kids are awful. His families are evil Bible thumpers who hate me since I denounced Christianity. He has diagnosed Asperger and histrionic desire disorder. I learned that from your videos, lol. He has a gambling addiction. What? Which doesn't help since where we live there is a casino everywhere. They must be in Vegas. And he has been in the same job position for the last 14 years. No college, trade certification, nothing. Since coming out of religion and binge watching your videos, I see the mistakes I made in choosing this man to marry. I hate being around him. We have no emotional connection due to him staying at the casino all night. He has nothing creative about him. I'm on long-term birth control because I will not, in caps, bear any defective human creatures from his defective DNA. She's going in on dude. I put him on notice that I will present him with legal separations and papers the next time he fails to have his butt in the house before dark. I put him on notice that our state is a community property state and I will go for what's owed to me because I haven't worked while we've been married due to constantly moving for his job. Oh. I'm asking you, should I milk this marriage then bounce, or once I start my new job in a few weeks pursue an uncontested divorce and leave dum-dum a distant memory? She's also in the 26 to 35 age group. Okay, let me scroll up because this letter was so long. I forgot what you said. You know I have ADD. Okay. Part of me wants to stay to get some, but I can't take it. Okay. Okay, see, my thing is this. If you get to the point where you are just like hating him every time the sight of him, like remember that scene in War of the Roses with Kathleen, what's her name, which was Michael Douglas. I forgot what their names were in the movie. I love that movie. I love that scene where, he comes in talking about how he thought he was gonna die and then he didn't, and she's like, oh, that's too bad. And then she tells him this one scene where he's talking, she talks about why she wanted a divorce, and she says, I just hate you. I hate everything about you. I hate the way you chew. I hate the way you talk. I hate the way you walk. I mean, she just looked at this list of everything that she hates about him, and he's sitting there looking like, what? And it's just the best scene in the world. Even at the end where they're dying, he's reaching out, he wraps his arm around her, and with her dying breath, he takes his arm and flips it off of her. I'm like, that movie is the best. So that's kind of where I see you going. If you continue in this marriage, you're going to be in like a War of Roses part 2. Now let's talk about this religion thing. Okay, the Asperger's histrionic disorder. I don't know how you stood it this long. He's an addict for God. He don't have no education. He don't have no sense. His family are evil. His kids are evil. I mean, what are you doing? Why are you still there? Why are you writing me this letter? You should have been writing me this letter from some beach somewhere where you've already gone and saying this is what I did, not should I. Okay. You made a lot of mistakes. I'm glad you recognize them. I'm trying to figure out what was the reason that you chose this loser. Were you that desperate to get married? I'm glad you on birth control. I'm glad you ain't planning to have no kids with him, because man, you would be stuck. Oh my God. But anyway, my vote is, after hearing all of this, my vote is this guy was like the bottom of the barrel. I don't understand what you was thinking to get with him in the first place. And I think that you should, get your new job, get your first paycheck, use it to go file these papers down at the courthouse, and get an uncontested divorce. Whatever is yours in the house, that has like sentimental value, take it. But like other stuff, material items, leave all that shit there. Leave everything with him. Let him have it. Get new stuff for your new life. That would be my suggestion. Get you a nice little 1-bedroom apartment or something, a little large studio. I mean, you don't need much space. You ain't going to be there anyway. You're going to be out dating, having a good time. And, but something that you can make cute and without spending a whole bunch of money, and set your life up. Get your life back. And don't ever, 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 if you meet some Bible thumping type of man, they start talking about Jesus and God all over the place and stuff, make a Yui and go walking off, or preferably run like Forrest Gump in the opposite direction from him, because this is all bad. This is all bad. Yeah, I wouldn't deal with anything that he's talking about. So anyway, those are the letters for today. Some doozies. People get themselves into so much drama. But tomorrow I'll have some more questions and I'll have answers to some more things. If you have a question that you'd like to ask me, submit it on right in the description box below. There's a link to my website, my blog, survivingdating.com, and there's a link that you will click that says, get advice. You can also find the same link at the top of the show page, channel page here on YouTube, and it's a little thing that says get advice. You click that, it'll take you right to the form as well. But either way, you're going to end up in the same place, and fill out that form. Make sure to click the box for the release for me to put it online. Otherwise, I'm going to just delete it, and that's what we'll do. So anyway, I've been enjoying these. I'm glad I got some nice comments. People were saying, oh, this is so much fun. I love this daily dose. And so we keep on doing it. Got another week, I guess, of this. And I'm going to take a rest. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.